On April 22nd, Chamber Music International is presenting one of the greatest violinists in the world today. His name is Augustin Hadelich. I first met him after he won the Indianapolis violin competition, and he absolutely knocked my socks off. And I've been inviting him for Chamber Music International concerts now for several years. When I heard that he was putting together an unaccompanied violin recital, which is a very rare and exciting event, I asked him, can we get a date? And he said, absolutely. So it worked out for this coming April 22nd, and the program is tremendously exciting. Bach wrote 6 works for unaccompanied violin, 3 partitas, 3 sonatas, and they've become kind of the hallmark of that form, and he's playing 2 complete ones. He's doing the 2nd and 3rd partita. Then he's playing a work by a Belgian composer who about 200 years later also wrote 6 sonatas. The composer's name was Eugène Ysaÿe. These are loosely based on the Bach works, but of course the harmonies are romantic, impressionistic, and he made a storyline in a way for each one, because he dedicated each one to a different one of his violinist friends and tried to capture some of the personality of that violinist in the writing. The one that Augustin is going to play is the 2nd sonata dedicated to Jacques Thibaud. It's entitled Obsession. Very interesting work. Jacques Thibaud was one of the great violinists of the 20th century. But in World War I, he lost his son, and he kind of lost the will to live. He stopped playing concerts for a while, and he began to drink. And so Ysaÿe wrote this sonata, and it's kind of sending a message to Thibaud in the nicest possible musical way. First movement begins with the opening like the 3rd Bach partita, and then goes into a kind of an angry, what he marks as play in a brutal manner. So it's like someone who's playing one of his favorite works and then just remembers the tragedy in his life and can't be normal about it. And then also in that first movement is the Dies Irae, which is a Gregorian chant meaning the anger, and that's written in wonderful variations with the solo violin part. Second movement, Melancholia. It is of the most profound sadness you could imagine. Third movement, Dance of the Shadows, and he opens it with the Dies Irae theme, but he harmonizes it in such a way that it's almost unrecognizable, and then follows it with a lot of virtuosic variations. The fourth movement is entitled The Furies, and you may remember in Greek mythology when the gods were going to punish certain human beings for whatever, they would often send witches, or they'd send insects, or they'd send something to torture the people. So he's telling Thibaud as nicely as he can in this piece, hey, cut it out, come back to playing the violin. We all have tragedies in our lives, and Thibaud did come out of it, and he had another 40 years of a beautiful career. In addition to that, Augustin is playing a work by Perkinson. Perkinson was a black composer in the 20th century who was very interested in all kinds of music, symphonic, pop, jazz, blues, and excelled in all of those types of composition. He also conducted hundreds of concerts all over the world. But right now, we're all trying to look back a little bit and say, who are these wonderful composers who were not given their due during their lifetimes for whatever reason? Whether maybe they were black, maybe they were women, maybe they were whatever. But we say, okay, these guys are good. These guys and gals are very good. And so you'll see today a resurgence of this, kind of wonderful thought of diversity, equity, inclusion. And Augustin chose to put that work, it's a blues work, onto the program. So you have 3 very, very different styles of music. So it's going to be an exciting event. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime event. And again, my prejudiced opinion is that Augustin Hadelich is literally one of the greatest violinists, and perhaps the greatest young violinist today in the world. It's April 22nd. To get information about the concert, 972-385-7267, or go to our website, chambermusicinternational.org. May I say too that we are getting close to capacity on ticket sales. So if this kind of a concert interests you, call now, go online now, because I really know they're going to be sold out before the concert date. It's at St. Barnabas Presbyterian Church in Richardson. We start the concert at 7:30 on April 22nd, and I really hope to see you there. Thank you so much.